Hello, how are you doing? My name is Bradleywalkr of Bradleywalkrfitness.com. I'm a personal trainer from Glasgow, and this video is going to be about how you can make your physique look way better by improving muscle imbalances. Cue intro. Are you looking to build a lean, athletic physique similar to your favourite athlete or celebrity? I was the same. When I first started training, I aspired to have a shredded and strong physique to gain true confidence in my body. But then, finally, I cracked the code. I finally realised the importance of a structured training programme, a diet plan tailored to my specific needs, plus tracking progress and keeping myself accountable. From then, I started to see results. I started to see my physique transform. I then started applying the same methods to my clients. You can achieve these results too with my online coaching. You can monitor and track your progress all through your phone. To find out more info on how to see results today, click the link below. Muscle imbalances will make you weaker, more likely to get injured, and also it'll make your physique kind of just look a wee bit weird or odd, if you will. So what are muscle imbalances? To put it simply, muscle imbalances are simply when opposing muscles, for example like your bicep and tricep, have different strength or flexibility imbalances. So meaning one is maybe more better than the other, or one is stronger than the other, one is more flexible than the other. For example, the most common one you see is a tight chest and a weak back and rounded over shoulders. But you may be asking, how does this make your physique look better? Let me tell you. That is by making your physique symmetrical. Physique symmetry is going to make your physique look bigger, as it's going to open your body up and make it sit the way it's supposed to. It will also make your physique look more proportioned, even and complete, so you won't look like that guy that just goes to the gym, trains their biceps and trains their chest, and again walks about like this. Physique symmetry is one of the most important factors, if not the most important factor, into having an aesthetic physique. Just to give you like a little bit of insight, right? So bodybuilding shows, they basically straight up just judge your physique and the way it looks, right? That's what they're all about, okay? And yes, bodybuilding shows maybe the extreme where they're like maybe super huge or whatever, right? But again, they're a place to judge your physique on the way it looks, right? And one of the main points, in fact, probably the most important point they judge your physique on is physique symmetry. Physique symmetry can work from left to right, front to back, and top to bottom. Again, there is three main types that we've spoke about. So let's just talk about the first one, and that's going to be top to bottom. It's very easily fixed. All you need to do is start training your legs, mate. Simple, go do it. If you need some help training your legs, contact me and I'll help you. But a free bit of advice I'm going to say is go and start squatting. Then you have left to right. So again, this one is pretty common and it's pretty easily fixed, and it's not going to cause you the worst damage in the world, but it has a couple of causes. So a couple of the main causes, right, is going to be your posture. So if you're a bit lopsided, one side might be doing more work than the other when you're doing certain exercises, because maybe that arm or leg or whatever needs to travel more because of the angle your body is at, if that makes sense. Also, another way this can be caused is if one side is more dominant than the other. So for example, if you are right-handed, your right arm might be bigger than your left, usually due to it being, again, overused or overpowering it. And let's face it guys, you all know one arm's going to be stronger than the other. And also you could be using that side more when you're doing certain exercises. So let's just talk about your upper body, for example. If you're doing a bench press and you're right-handed and your right side's way stronger, when you're lifting the bar, if you can imagine you're lifting 100% of the bar, your right side or your stronger side might be doing, say, 70% of the work, and the weaker side might be doing 30% of the work. So this one side is going to get more dominant and just grow and develop much better, and that other one will be kind of left back lagging, and then that imbalance will just become bigger and bigger and bigger, and eventually you have one big side and one small side. But it's easily fixed. All you need to do is start training unilaterally, meaning one side at a time. Okay, for example, again, let's just use a bicep curl to make this nice and simple. If your right side is your big and strong side, you'll start by training each arm individually, and what you'll do is you'll train your left arm until it kind of can't go anymore. So let's just say, for example, using a bicep curl, you do a 10 kilo bicep curl and you can only get 9 reps with your left hand side. You'll do that first, and then you'll go into your right, and you'll do your right, and you'll get, again, you'll only even what the left hand side done. And that's going to make sure this right one doesn't keep developing and this left one's lagging behind. It's going to bring them up until they're even, and it then matches their strength and their size. Another thing you can do as well to start off is do a bit more volume, so more sets with the weaker side. And last but certainly not least, probably the most common one I always see is the front to back imbalance, okay? So this one, in my opinion, is probably going to be the one that causes the most damage, okay? So it's super common, especially in young guys, right, to see them having an overdeveloped chest, maybe front shoulders and biceps, but the back is super weak. Again, I see this in tons of you guys when it comes to training with me. A lot of my clients have had this issue, but again, we kind of work on it to fix it, okay? So I basically had this problem myself, okay? So when I first started training, all I did was train biceps and chest because I thought they were the only muscles that mattered to make yourself look big. And over time, because I trained my chest so much, my chest got really, really tight and caused me to start to sort of round in. So I got rounded over time. And how I basically fixed this was started to train the opposing muscles. So I started doing a lot more back movements, basically the opposite of a bench press, to start strengthening the opposite muscles. Another front to back one that's very common, so you have the hunched over shoulders, is also the kind of butt that sticks out like so here. And that basically comes from always being in a seated position, okay, or being on your phone, for example. So nowadays, people's life is basically spent either behind a desk, sitting at a couch, or driving about all the time, right? That is majority. We do a lot of sitting about all the time. And because of all this sitting down over time, the muscles at the front actually get tight because they're constantly in that shortened position, right? So if you're sitting in a position where a certain muscle is basically sitting in this shortened position all the time, it will start to just get used to it and say, okay, I need to start tightening up because I'm always here anyway, it doesn't matter. But that'll then cause little bigger issues later down the line. So how this gets fixed is starting to focus on the weaker muscles at the back, stretching out the ones at the front that are tight, and then strengthening up the ones at the back. It is also possible that your front could be weaker than your back and you're maybe having issues there, but it's very, very, very uncommon. But again, to fix this, all you need to do is start strengthening the muscles at the back and stretching the muscles at the front. And maybe drop down the load that you're training at the front just for a wee while until they even out again. As well as playing an important part on how you look, it also affects your health, your strength and your mindset. So firstly, let's start with health. Muscle imbalances can cause many health issues, but there's three main ones that I'm going to talk about right now. Firstly, bad posture. So bad posture can lead to many different aches and pains such as back pain, neck pain, etc, etc, okay? And as well as having all these aches and pains, it also gives off bad body language signals and it makes you look more timid and less confident. The second one is going to be impingement. This is super common when I see with myself and lots of clients, so I'll tell you about my story. When I first started training, I used to train my chest, my biceps all the time and never ever stretch. What this basically done was caused all the muscles at the front to start tightening round, and then when these muscles were tightening round, this actually pulled my shoulders into an unnatural position, right? And when your shoulders sit in an unnatural position, it actually gives them less room to move, okay? So imagine this is your shoulder joint, and this is your arm going into your shoulder joint, okay? So your shoulder joint should move and have lots of space in there. If you have bad shoulder position, it will actually tighten up the space, and then when it starts to move, it will start to pinch on stuff such as ligaments, tendons, and tissue. I believe that is correct, but I'm not a physio, so if anybody knows that, you can correct me there, but it will start pinching on different bits in about your shoulder joint, okay, and it will close up that space to move, and it will actually affect how much your shoulders can move. I had one client who plays basketball, and we focused a bit on his stretching and strengthening up his back muscles, and he can actually get his arms much higher overhead now. And last but not least, it's going to be injuries. So again, if you have bad posture, see if you're trying to do certain exercises such as squats, deadlifts and overhead presses, if you're moving a heavy weight above your head, holding it on your back or picking it up from the ground, and you have bad back position and your core isn't able to basically hold itself in the right position, it's going to make it very, very easy for you to pull a muscle or injure it. And let's face it, if you're injured, you're going to miss time for training. Time out of training means you're getting less results, and let's face it, we're all doing this to go and get results, aren't we? So make sure you're fixing these muscle imbalances. Next up we have mindset. So again, I'm not a mindset coach or whatever, so I don't know too much about this, but I do know if you had bad posture, it actually makes you feel less confident, okay? So just practice it now. Stand up nice and tall with your shoulders back yourself and you actually feel much, much better, okay? So having good posture is going to make you feel this all the time, and again, it's going to put off the good body language signals to everybody else. Again, if you're a young guy watching this, females like confident men. And last but not least is going to be the strength gains. Let's face it, we're all here to get bigger and stronger, okay? So if you have muscle imbalances, let's focus on the left to right just for example. If both muscles aren't developed equally, it's going to make you not as strong as you can be, okay? You want to have both sides as strong as possible so you can then be as strong as possible, okay? So it's going to affect your strength, again, if you have these muscle imbalances. Another one that's actually kind of a little bonus tip is sleeping can actually fuck you up pretty bad, right? Sleeping is super important, and I recommend obviously everybody gets sleep because let's face it, you'd probably go crazy if you didn't. But the way you sleep massively can affect muscle imbalances. So for example, I sleep on my right hand side, and I personally notice my right shoulder curled down a little bit more. I have to do a little bit extra work to make sure I combat that all the time. So, okay, so if you notice you maybe sleep on one side and one side's maybe tighter, make sure you're focusing on that a little bit more. How thought sleep could have fucked you up, eh? So now you might be thinking, somebody's applied to me, how do I fix it? Well, just listen up and I'll tell you how. I'm going to show you 3 stretches you can do to start counting these effects of the muscle imbalances. So firstly we have the chest stretch. All you're going to need for this one is a door frame. So I'm going to get you to walk up to the door frame, put your elbows up at shoulder height, place both forearms onto the door frame, and then lean your body forward into this. Once you're in there, you feel a massive stretch on your chest, and you're then going to hold this for 45 seconds, taking big deep breaths in and out throughout the movement. I would recommend you do this about 2 to 3 times a day, and again hold it for about 45 seconds in that position, and you'll feel a great stretch on your chest, most likely feel the benefits of it straight away. This one is really good for help from shoulder impingement, as again the chest muscles are usually over tight on young guys. Next up, we're going to have the hip abductor stretch. So with this one, you can just do it at home again. All you need is a couch and maybe a little pillow to rest your knee on. So what you're going to do is you're going to stand right against your couch, then you're going to take a big step forward. Once you take a big step forward, you're going to put one foot back onto the seat of the couch, making sure the top of your foot is sitting on the couch. From there, I'm then going to get you to get squat down until your knee comes to the ground, as you can see here. If you want, you can put a little pillow under your knee to stop any pain at the knee joint. And from there, once your knee's resting on there, you're going to make sure you're standing up nice and tall, forcing your hips forward, making sure you're not just rounding your back to do it, but you're really dragging your glutes forward into it. You're going to feel a massive stretch up the front of your leg and your hips. To get an extra bit of a stretch, you can also put the hand on the same side straight up, and you feel a massive stretch on there. Again, do this one 2 to 3 times per day and hold it for 45 seconds. If you feel one side is tighter than the other, make sure you go and hold that one a little bit longer on the tightest side. But last but not least, we have a stretch that I believe is called the open book. So with this one, again, as I sleep on my right side, I do this one very, very often because my right side gets tighter. All you need to do is lie flat on your back, put your arms out at shoulder height again, bring your knees up as if you're about to do a sit-up, and then from there, keep your knees and ankles together and twist over to the opposite side that you find is tightest. So my tight side is my right, so I'm going to tilt over to my left, keep my knees and ankles together and hold that again, and you feel a big stretch kind of up the side of your stomach. While you're doing this, again, make sure you're taking big deep breaths in, and then switch over to the other side. Again, if you find one side's tighter than another, hold that one a little bit longer. Did you like that video? Did you find that information quite helpful? If so, please make sure you hit the like button right now. And guess what? I've got some better news as well. If you find you have any of these issues, I've actually got a free stretch booklet available, right? This is going to help you combat the issues of muscle imbalances. Again, it's a free download. All you need to do is go down to the description down below, click on the link, put your email in, press send, and it'll come straight to you for free. Is that no awesome? In here, it's going to have a couple of different stretches to show you that again are going to help combat the effects of the muscle imbalances straight away. If you found that video beneficial, please again make sure you hit the like button and subscribe, because I'm going to be putting out much more content on this. If there's anything you'd like to find out as well, or you'd like to know, just comment down below and I'll make sure I'll make a video on it for you as well. And that's it, that's going to be me done for the day. Again, if that video was beneficial, make sure you go check me out on all our social medias. So you find me, Bradleywalkr Fitness, on either Instagram or Facebook, where I put tons of free informative content. That's going to be it for the day. You're welcome, troops. Peace out. Bye bye.